petrol still better on the wallet than electric? This is the Yamaha RayZR, as you know. Already been whizzing around on it a little bit. Took it on a dual carriageway, got it to 58 full tuck. And yeah, it hasn't got the top speed. The scooter I'm comparing this against the Segway E300 SE. If you haven't already seen that video, click up here or up here and give that a watch. The RayZR offers what is a very good prospect for someone who's just looking to zip about. For the money, £2,301, to get this brand new from Yamaha. When it was first unveiled at EICMA, I was very surprised that it's so cheap. My first thought when I saw this scooter was, oh, it's just going to sort of undercut the PCX, maybe an alternative to the Yamaha NMAX, stuff like that, but just a sort of basic version, and obviously cheap. But this thing was launched at £2,000 odd. Now I've just fired it up and you can barely hear the motor. It's got assist start. So let's go. Little single cylinder blue core motor. Hello. Enjoy the castle. Eco mode on this, start stop technology. So start stop should kick in here. Maybe it just needs to warm up a little bit. But yeah, when you go full throttle, it gets to 30 happily. And when you're at 30 miles an hour on one of these, you're chilling, you're cruising. Yeah, it's only 8 brake horsepower. It's just lovely and easy to ride. Now, also, one of the things that I thought about was, how am I going to fit on this tiny little scooter? Because I'm 6'3", but as you can see, I've got leg room here. Yeah, I do have to duck and dive my legs when I'm going around corners, but I can live with that. Just chilling here at 30 miles an hour. Miles per gallon, they quote 180 miles per gallon, and this reads 98 at the moment, but just consider that I was on the A47 for a bit of time, full throttle, full pin, maybe about 15 minutes just to get into this more town setting rather than review it on rural roads. As I say, when you consider that this is £2,300, you can just zip around on it. So you've got a little eco setting there. The fuel tank's only 5.6 litres, I think, 5.2 litres, 5.6 litres, something like that. And the minimum fuel limit that you can serve yourself at a petrol station, at least near me, is 5 litres. So you're going to have to run this thing absolutely dry to then fill it up for the minimum 5 litres. But, you know, the convenience of filling it up and then having another, well, I guess 180 miles per gallon, and then you've got maybe like a 200 mile range realistically, maybe 250, maybe 300. It depends how you ride and who's on top, because for me on top it's probably not going to be that. So you've got a gallon and a bit, so yeah. But the refueling process compared to an electric bike is going to be so much quicker. The Segway has 3 batteries, you can charge it on board, and if you've got a garage with a plug, you're fine, it doesn't matter. But for me, I don't have a garage with a plug, so charging it, I have to do it in random places. With 3 batteries, you get 75 miles of range, and that's if you're not boosting around everywhere. Otherwise, it's probably about 45 out of push. And recharging it, you'd have to take all of the batteries out, lug 3 batteries and the remote charger unit. You can get a separate one, but to me, that's just a faff. And it does limit in terms of where you can ride, because you can't just go get fuel anywhere. You have to find a 3-pin plug and sit there for potentially 6 hours if you use 70 miles of range. And that's a bit of a daunting prospect. So your range is severely limited by the recharging process. But when it comes to a petrol bike, yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive to refuel it. But overall, the convenience outweighs it. Moving on to a couple of the other topics here. I mean, brakes, you've got a rear drum brake, obviously left lever, and you've got the right disc. So the braking power is okay. It doesn't feel particularly strong. Combined braking system naturally, because there's no ABS on this, and you need to have at least one of the two. But I've got no complaints of braking. Considering the speed that you accelerate and then that you'd hope to decelerate, it's pretty on par with any other scooter this sort of price range, really. Suspension is nice and soft. Over those bumps, the suspension feels fine. You know, I'll purposely go over this one. It just handles it well. Is there any lumps and bumps I can ride over to test that? Not really. But yeah, it's just happy go lucky little scooter. I mean, I know electric is going to be quote unquote the future, but until then, until electric catches up with the prospect of owning something like this for £2,300, this just makes a lot of sense. It's very easy to ride, nice and smooth, got a good fuel. So storage under the seat, can't quite fit a helmet. At least my large helmet just didn't fit. But you can fit your bits and pieces under there, so I'd say that an open face helmet is going to fit underneath the seat, but I don't have an open face helmet to check. Right, let's see what top speed I can get. Ready? What's it telling me? 9, 22, 26, 30 on screen. And that was in no space at all. That was no time at all. Yeah, happy days. Look at that. Can you go wrong on a little RayZR? I don't think so. You can turn the start and stop off by just flicking that. So start and stop only works when the motor's a little bit warm, because I think it's easier on the starter motor. It did catch me out earlier when I was fiddling about with it and I turned it off with the engine off. And then when I turned it back on, it twisted to go and it just didn't go. Obviously I had to press the ignition, but I didn't think about that. Handles nicely, look at this. Let's get to the start of this queue. I'm going to turn off stop start, so then I can just leave the engine running and just give it a full twist of beans to see how fast I can get off the line. Go on, look at me go. And then we're at 30. Happy days, look at that, beautiful. Let's follow these cars left and see what the fuss is about down here. Beautiful thing about a scooter is you can just bomb down and overtake people, because it's really compact. And it's got that little bit of pulling power. You're not going to get any top speed out of this. So whereas the Segway can get to 70, this isn't going to get to 70. I mean, I did full throttle, full tuck, and I got to what, 57, 58, something like that. And if you're a learner, if you're someone that hasn't ridden before, this is so easy to ride that you don't have to have any worries. And equally, if you're an older rider that just wants to zip around, this is fine. It's got the Yamaha build quality, 2,300 quid for that. Well, for this, sorry. Let's pull in here and I'll do a little walk around. So as far as the Yamaha RayZR goes, it's budget friendly, and in terms of value for money, can you go wrong if you're just looking for a little zip around scooter? It doesn't have any tech, it doesn't have any phone integration, it does have start stop, but that got me into an issue where I stopped the engine and had to push it off the line in panic because it just wouldn't go. But that's okay. But for value for money, I mean, look, the brakes are okay. Got a single disc at the front with a 1-pot caliper. At the rear it's a drum brake, that's okay. You got only 12-inch wheels, that's okay, that's fine. It's super lightweight, 99 kilograms, so it's just saving weight. And I like the styling on this. The blue core motor is decent. Start-stop tech is good on fuel economy and saving. And if you're looking at then getting yourself a budget scooter, this is doing the job. The dash is nice and simple. Let's just turn it on to show you. So you've got the assist, eco and auto stop there. You've got a light here. It's like a daytime running light. And then this does all the major work for the lighting. Under seat, you can't get a full face. And it's a combined braking system. You have got kick start, so if you get into trouble with the electronic starter, you can just kick it into motion, which I guess is going to be good for markets where your scooter runs out of battery and you don't really want to get a new battery to get it going. So you can just kick start it in any case. Single-sided swing arm, it's quite fun. So you can just replace the wheel nice and easy. It's got a centre stand, side stand. There's not really anywhere to put anything up front at all, in fact, other than a hook for a bag, but that's fine, that's okay. And all in, quite impressed with this. The value that it offers over an electric scooter, pretty bang on. 2,300 purchase price. The running cost is going to be super low. If you're zipping around at 30 everywhere, you probably will get 180 miles per gallon. And all things considered, the Cygnus RayZR is a big thumbs up for the the rider who's just looking to get around. You know, it's not going to blow you away with any technology. If you're looking for technology, you can go get yourself an M-Max or go get yourself an electric Segway, but you're going to be paying a little bit more for that. I think this is perfectly positioned to give you the value for money that you want if you're just looking to just get around. And it looks quite smart as well. Red is a nice colour option. And in terms of weight, 99 kilograms, just feels nice on the road. Nice and fluid. But ultimately, impressed by this. So I'm just going to do a little bit more riding, spend the day in Peterborough. Is there anything to see in Peterborough? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already seen, check the Segway review on the top right. And that will give you all the information on the electric comparison. But when it comes down to, is petrol better than electric? I think for now it is. I think for now the petrol price and the purchase price of this over a maybe 5-year ownership cycle, you would probably still be cheaper than buying the Segway and running that on cheaper electricity. So yes, happy days. Thumbs up for the RayZR. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, and if you see one around. There's a guy in my local town who commutes on this, and he always seems pretty happy to go. So here we go. Electric comparisons. So you've got quite a few electric options on the market, and you're not going to find an electric option brand new for the same price as this. So with electric options on the market, they're all quite expensive in my eyes for what you get. Yeah, you get to zip around and charge at home, and it can just be, you know, the perfect tool for you. But the purchase price is what is the problem, I guess. Resale value is in question, and you'd have to consider if once the batteries start to deplete and your range starts to deplete, if you're going to be charging it every single night at home, you can get into that routine happily. I mean, that's no issue. But you might decide that actually I want to just fill up at the station in a couple of minutes and get on with my day, then worry about charging up. And if you can do everything you need to do on the electric side of things, because if once you're out of juice, out of electric, how are you going to recharge when you're out and about? You have to find a 3-pin plug and just pray that it reaches the scooter. You can take one of the batteries out, maybe take it with you when you're lugging around a massive charging unit and a battery, which isn't quite convenient. Maybe you can take it into the office, but I found that the Segway one, the motor on the battery starts to whir so it doesn't overheat, and that's not very nice to listen to, especially if you're in the office. People might think that the battery's overheating and they're in trouble. So yeah, I mean, obviously I'm posing a few questions here that you wouldn't necessarily need to worry about if you're just using a commuter scooter just to get to and from your place of work and you don't need to charge at work. But there's pros and cons, there's positives and negatives to electric. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, the Segway was rapid, absolutely flying quick. It was just outrageous how fast that thing could go. And that's the same equivalent in terms of engine size. Go on. And you can ride that on a CBT or an A1 license, or any bike license, because it's 125 equivalent. But doing 70 miles an hour on that was easy. Like, that was really, really easy. Whereas doing 70 on this is a dream. Maybe there's a hill that you know of that you can spin it down. So one of the things that commuters might think about, well, we're going to do a 0 to whatever speed I can get to test as well. And then we're sitting on the A47. If you're living out of town and you've maybe got a 10-mile commute and you need to spend a bit of time on the 70 miles per hour dual carriageways or motorways or faster roads in general, are you going to be alright on this? Now, this is going to be a test that is not only 0 to whatever top speed I can get to, but how does it feel at top speeds? How does it feel on the road against the cars? And I mean, I can only do 40 up here. I've got to 30 in no time at all. Well, here we go then, ladies and gents. We're zooming along. We're on the dual carriageway. Full tuck, full speed. 55 at the moment. I got it to 57 earlier. 56. And this is the top speed. This is all she wrote, basically. 57 was there. You're not going to get any more than this. This is it, really. I mean, this is a bit downhill, so let's break our limits. So can you commute on this and go on a dual carriageway? Yeah. Oof. Seat comfort's good, it's nice and soft. Suspension is good, I've got enough leg room. You know, my feet can be forward or they can be perched backwards if you're riding in aggressive mode. It's not too bad. So, quick shout out goes to Lexham Insurance whilst I'm pinning it down this dual carriageway on a RayZR. If you're looking for a quote on your motorcycle or scooter, or renewal quote or anything like that, give them a try online, or you can call them direct. Go to lexhaminsurance.co.uk, and if you go there as well, you can check out the blog. There should be a link on screen as well for you to click, and you can connect through onto that. Very impressed by this scooter. Now let's go and have a quick chat about it, and then we'll be away. Just been riding around on the RayZR all day. Now this 99 kilogram scooter is supreme. Overall, you just can't go wrong with this. Now one of the things I did open up with here is petrol better than electric? And I think the answer to that is yes. Not only is it a little bit more fun to ride, I mean the Segway was rapid and that was great, but this just has a little bit of character and soul that I don't think electric's ever going to replace. Now Jeremy Clarkson once said at the end of the Grand Tour episode, you might have seen it, people ride around on microwaves and dishwashers, but I'm always going to be petrol. I think that does ring true. Until battery technology becomes cheaper and easier to use with more range, more power, I think petrol is still going to win out. Is it 2035 when electric's going to be introduced as the way forward? And until then, I don't think you can beat little beauties like this, budget friendly. But in any case, if you haven't seen the Segway review, click here, somewhere up here to give that a watch. Like the video, comment below what you think of the RayZR, if it's something you commute about on. Until then, subscribe to Bike Matters, ciao, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.